You know, that sure was a big game on Sunday, wasn't it? But enough about football. There were a lot of really good movie trailers that premiered for the first time during the commercials of the game. Many of them I had to see again when I got home because everybody was talking during them. Mission Impossible Fallout looks awesome as hell. I'm a big fan of all of these films, and this one looks like it's ramping up the excitement tenfold. I can't wait to see what they do with this one. Yes, I even like 2. Do not at me. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom got a new trailer, which wasn't bad, but if you ask me, the Jeep commercial towards the end of the night with Jeff Goldblum was a better ad for the film.
Would you like to take it for a test drive?
I just did.
We got a bomb dropped on us that not only was there going to be a brand new Cloverfield movie, but it would premiere later that night, right after the game, exclusively on Netflix. That's incredible. Too bad the movie apparently sucks, so I skipped it. Infinity War got a new trailer, Black Panther got a new car commercial, but really, I want to talk about Solo. After months of nothing, we finally catch a glimpse of what Disney and Ron Howard are going to be offering us come May. But this was just a 30-second spot. The real trailer would of course debut on Monday, the following day, during Good Morning America. But it doesn't matter how we got the footage. All that matters is that we got the footage. So with that, let's take a look at what was released and see if we can piece together exactly what to expect from Solo, a Star Wars story. Before we go on, I do want to say that we're going to touch upon some old expanded universe stuff here. And while I do know a lot about Star Wars, I do have some blind spots, particularly when it comes to the early adventures of Han Solo. I'm not all that familiar with his past in the old expanded universe, especially compared to his post-Return of the Jedi future, and I know next to nothing about his past in the current Disney canon. But I do think, based on what we know of this character from the movies and what we've seen from the trailers and the synopsis, I think we can piece together just what this film is going to offer us. First, let's start with the synopsis. Quote, "Board the Millennium Falcon and journey to a galaxy far, far away in Solo, a Star Wars story. An adventure with the most beloved scoundrel in the galaxy. Through a series of daring escapades deep within a dark and dangerous criminal underworld, Han Solo meets his mighty future co-pilot Chewbacca and encounters the notorious gambler Lando Calrissian, in a journey that will set the course for one of the Star Wars saga's most unlikely heroes." That sounds fairly generic. All it really tells us is that it's going to explore Han Solo's more seedy past and that he's going to meet Chewbacca and possibly Lando Calrissian for the first time. This does tell us one thing though, that George Lucas's original plan for Han Solo in Revenge of the Sith is no longer canon. The idea was to have a 10-year-old Han Solo in Revenge of the Sith being raised on Kashyyyk by a tribe of Wookiees. Admittedly, it never made it into the movie, so it was never canon to begin with, but there was concept art of it, so we got pretty close. But if that's the case, if this is Han Solo's first encounter with Chewbacca, then that means we could finally see the life debt that Chewie has with him. A life debt is when one person repays another for saving their life, usually by becoming the Savior's bodyguard or protector. In the old EU, Chewie becomes Han Solo's protector after Han rescues him from becoming an Imperial slave. And we do know that Han Solo is going to be at some point part of the Empire in this film. In the Super Bowl spot, he's clearly applying for a job with the Empire, and in the GMA spot, he says he washed out of Flight Academy. And I'm guessing all the best flight academies during this time frame were run by the Empire. So we could very well see the start of the life debt, and it looks like we can also see how Han won the Millennium Falcon from Lando Calrissian. Originally, Solo won the ship from Lando in a game of sabacc, which is basically space poker, and those dice he has hanging in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon are from that game. But if you notice, he does have the same dice hanging in the hover car that he's driving at one point during the GMA trailer, so maybe they're not the same dice? Maybe the dice means something else. Maybe he doesn't win it in a game of sabacc, but some other competition that's going on. A competition that might have something to do with the Kessel Run. It's been rumored for a long time that this film would feature the Kessel Run in some capacity. In A New Hope, Han Solo famously tells Obi-Wan and Luke that the Millennium Falcon is the ship that made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
It's a ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Now, many smartasses have since come out and said that a parsec is a measurement of distance and not time.
Isn't a parsec a unit of distance, not time?
Yes, thank you for that. So that either means that A, he's lying to Obi-Wan and trying to impress him with how cool his ship is, or B, the Kessel Run isn't exactly what we thought it might have been. In the old EU, the Kessel Run was an old trade route that smugglers would use to move spice and other bounty across the galaxy. According to Wikipedia, Han was specifically referring to a shorter route that he found by skirting past a Maw black hole cluster. This rendered the total distance he had to travel shorter than it's supposed to be. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that very much looks like what we're seeing in these trailers. Those shots of the Falcon running away from TIE fighters and a Star Destroyer in the Cloud Storm, that can't be anything other than the Kessel Run. I'm willing to put money on it. Maybe now we'll finally see what happened and why a 12 parsec Kessel Run is supposed to be impressive. Or, if he is lying, maybe now we'll see why he's lying. Why he's keeping this charade going for so long, even up until the era of The Force Awakens.
This is a ship that made the Kessel Run in 14 parsecs.
12! 14.
Plus, I mean, Ron Howard did kind of tease the Kessel Run on his Twitter page already. He also teased Tag and Bink, but, you know, I kind of want Tag and Bink to be in this movie, so let's hope everything is in this movie from his Twitter account. Now, to be honest, if this does wind up being the case, then it kind of just sounds like we're getting the greatest hits of Han Solo's early days in one movie. How he met his friends, how he got his ride, how he got his claim to fame, all the sort of things you expect to see in a movie like this. And that's not great. It's not bad, but it's not surprising. It's everything we thought we would see and what we would expect from this type of film. If that's the case, then it really needs to have a whole lot more to it than just those bits. Something else to make the sum better than the parts. I'll give it this though, for a movie that changed directors before the film finished production, only for the new director to go in and refilm most of the movie, this looks really good and certainly a lot better than other recent films that had a similar behind the scenes story and may or may not have starred Superman. I'm not saying specifically what film I'm referring to. We still don't know a whole lot. We still don't know how Alden Ehrenreich is going to be as Han Solo, but you know what? I think we're going to be okay. For the first time since this was announced and all the drama happened, I think everything's going to be fine. Just fine.
Thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. We're fine.
What did you guys think about the Han Solo footage that we finally got? Are you more or less excited for it, or do you agree with pretty much everyone that we should just get a Donald Glover starring Lando film? Let me know down below or anywhere on the internet. We have new videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern is always Wulff Den Live, so make sure you subscribe to see all of that. Like this video and share it with a friend who is also excited to see this film but doesn't know what a life debt is. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.